Bone conducting earphones. I actually avoided these for quite a while, but now I have my hands on a pair of these and we're going to talk about them. So I'm using the OpenRun Pro by Shokz, and I have actually been shocked, little pun intended there, of how much I enjoyed these. And I'm going to talk about the applications that I use these. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the functionality, just show some basic things about these. So these are the earphones, and they have kind of a rubber material. They seem very durable. The headphones are pretty easy to operate. There's only 3 buttons on the headphones. So on the right side, underneath the little earpiece, is the volume button, which also acts as a power button. So there's your volume down, there's your volume up, and the volume up also acts as the power button. So if you hold that button down for a few seconds, you're going to see a little blue light come on the side of the headphones. That's letting you know that the headphones are on. And you will actually hear, they call it Audrey is her name. She'll say, "Welcome to Shokz," and then she'll say the battery level. So battery high, medium, low, or need to charge. And to turn the earphones off, you're just going to hold that power button down for a couple seconds again. The little light next to the earphone will turn red. That's letting you know that the power's off. Also, if you have these on your head and you hold that button down, it'll say power off. On the left side, on the earpiece that goes in front of your ear, and I'll put these on and show you how they work, but there is a multifunction button, and this, like it sounds, does many things. So play and pause your music. It'll answer calls. So if you got a call coming through, you tap it to answer it, tap it again, it'll cancel the call. If you double tap that button, it will fast forward. If you triple tap it, it'll go backwards for your song or podcast or whatever you're listening to. These do come with the case, and I actually found the case pretty useful. In the lid of the case is an elastic band that holds the charge cable, which is really useful because it is a proprietary charge cable. So it's nice to have that in the case, handy when you need it. I'm not really a fan of proprietary charge cables. I wish everything was USB-C, but these are water resistant. Now, I don't know if maybe perhaps using a standard USB-C would reduce the water resistance, but it is a proprietary cable. Now, the nice thing is it attaches to the headphones with a magnet. So you just hold it up there, and again, it makes contact and secures really well. They charge pretty quickly, so I would say maybe an hour. I haven't really timed it. And you get 10 hours of playtime with the headphones. Again, I didn't use a stopwatch when I listened to them, but I would say that's pretty accurate. One thing that I like about these earphones is you can pair them to more than one device. So I have them paired to my iPad and my phone, so you don't have to unpair from one and repair to the other. And the way that you pair to a device is that you hold down that power button for, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 seconds. That little light next to the speaker is going to blink red and blue, and that way you know they're in pairing mode. Now, to get them into the mode where they're paired to more than one device, there is a setup process that you go through. However, I recommend using the app because you just open up the app and tap on it. So speaking of the app, let's go ahead and open the app, and I'll just show you real quick what the app is like. Although the app is fairly basic, it is very useful. The first thing that I'll point out is you can play and pause your music from the app, or you can skip forward or backwards with the app. You can change the volume just by holding down the bar at the bottom and dragging to the right to go volume up, to the left volume down. You'll see also that there's standard EQ mode and vocal EQ mode. Now, again, you can use the buttons. You'll need to look at the user manual to know how to use the buttons, the multifunction button, the volume buttons, as far as changing the EQ or the multi-point pairing, as they call it. But for the standard, that's going to be for your music, and vocals is what it sounds like is for listening to audiobooks and podcasts. What I do a lot with these, and I'll talk about that coming up here in a minute. And then if you want to turn the multi-point pairing on, you would just tap on that button and then toggle it on, which is a lot easier than using the button. So I recommend doing that. You can also see what devices you've paired them to. You can only have them paired to 2 at a time, but that's typically what most people will need. The advantage of bone conducting earphones is that they allow for situational awareness. And that means you can hear all the noises around you. So as you can see, these fit on my head fairly easily, fairly comfortably, I will say. and my ears are completely open to hear the sounds around me, which is really important for cycling. And I'll talk about, again, the usage that I use for. And I'll first of all say that these are comfortable. Now, I have used in the past the Jaybirds, and I still use the Jaybirds, and I will talk about when I use these and when I use the bone conducting ones. But these are probably a bit more comfortable than having earbuds in your ears for long listening. So earbuds can put some pressure inside your ears, more than 2 or 3 hours. I find that they get a little uncomfortable. I've used these for 2 or 3 hours and they're fine. It's not like they put a lot of pressure on your head. By the way, you can just let these dangle around your neck when you're not using these, and so that's pretty convenient as well. But again, that's how they fit. They've got a little band in the back. So what I use these for a lot is listening to audiobooks and podcasts on a ride. Do these sound as good as something like the Jaybird Vista 2s? No, they do not. They don't have the deep bass that you get with these, and they don't have the really clear trebles and mids that these have. However, they do sound good. In fact, even though I don't use these a lot for music, when I have used them for music, I kind of forgot that I was using bone conducting headphones. For those of you who aren't really particular about your sound quality, in other words, you just want to have the music, you don't really care if it's like the best audio quality you can get, you'll be fine with these for music. Personally, I'm a little bit of an audiophile. I like my music to sound, all the ranges to sound good. Again, even though I've used these for music, I use them for audiobooks and podcasts, especially when I'm doing long solo gravel rides. Like today, I did a 3.5, 4 hour gravel ride. I listened to an audiobook, about 2 hours of that. Now, I will say that when it's super windy, you can have a hard time hearing. So I typically will keep the volume to the highest or the second from highest when I'm using these riding, especially on a gravel road where I have more wind versus mountain biking. And if I go above 20 miles an hour, or I have a really strong crosswind or really strong headwind, it can be hard to hear. And those are cases where an earbud would be better. However, I really don't recommend riding on the road when there's cars around with an earbud in your ear blocking the sound. Now, I've gotten some flack over the years talking about using these kind of earbuds for mountain biking. There are cases when you can use earbuds and you're fine. For example, I'll ride at lunch a lot where I don't see anybody on the trail the whole ride. And in those cases where the trails are not crowded and you feel it's safe to use earbuds, they're fine. However, if you ride on crowded trails and you're just concerned about safety, you need that situational awareness that I talked about, this is where these are excellent. Another application that I use the bone conducting earphones is when I'm around the house, like doing dishes, and I don't want to like completely tune out my family, or when I'm sitting on the couch and editing a video on my MacBook or my iPad, or watching a video. And again, I don't want to tune out the family. And it's really nice when I'm watching videos to just pause and play the music with the button on the side. So again, it's those applications where I need situational awareness or I don't want to tune everybody out. Now, I will say that when you're using these and you turn the volume up real high, they kind of tickle. So, bone conducting isn't as intense as it sounds. They've got a speaker kind of in the front of your ear, and then the part that touches your head, I think, is the one that does like the bone conducting. I don't know the exact science behind it, but it just means that the sound is kind of coming on the sides versus like right into your ears. And surprisingly, they do work very well. The vocals, even though they're not as crisp and clear as something like this, it's not that far off. And the sound, it's not like it's muffled, right? It's not like you just hear the sound and it sounds like it's way in the distance. It's not muffled at all. Again, I think if you're in the situation where you need to hear your ambient noises, I would give these a try. Now, these are sweat-proof, or water resistant, I should say. They're not waterproof. You cannot submerge these in water. I think, now I have not had this happen to me, but I think if you got caught in the rain, they would be okay. There is like a little moisture sensor when you're charging. You don't want to charge them when they're wet. But they're very, like I said at the beginning of the video, they're very durable, they're water resistant, so they're great for working out. Now I will say that they are very secure, so if you're working out in a gym or you're face down doing push-ups, they're fine. They stay totally secure. The only application where they were not that comfortable is I was reading in bed one time and I had a pillow like right behind my head. The pillow was pushing on the band, so I had to kind of rotate the band up a little bit so that wouldn't happen, and it kind of pushed on my head after half an hour. That's the only application where they didn't work perfectly as far as fit and comfort. Every other situation, they are fine. I recommend these. I've had a lot of people talk about safety with a true earbud that goes inside your ear when it comes to cycling. If that's you're concerned about safety, these are made for you, right? I mean, your ears are totally unobstructed, and you don't have the sound just blasting inside your ears. And any of you out there who have used bone conducting earphones, let us know in the comments below what you think. What situations do you use them? How have they worked? Again, drop those in the comments below. Any other comments or questions that I need to answer, just go ahead and drop those below. If there's anything I missed, let me know and I'll get to your comment or question. Thanks for watching.